Hello everyone, good day and welcome to Mathematics in the Modern World. I am Engineer Selfie L. Trimucha. I am a graduate of Fellowship Baptist College in the year 2017 and I started teaching mathematics subjects in senior high school. At the same time, I was able to teach in various engineering subjects last year. Before we start, let's reflect first on the following passages. For our first week, we are going to start understanding the mathematics in our world. Also, we would try to understand and try to be amazed by the patterns in nature. We are going to discuss the nature, characteristic, and definition of mathematics. Okay, before we proceed, try to reflect what is your own definition of mathematics, and if let us see if this definition of yours try to or coincides with the definition of your fellow students or those persons who have authorities in the field of mathematics. Okay, I researched on the internet and try to ask questions about how do they define mathematics. Some says it is a study of numbers in arithmetic operation. This is a definition that may be also somewhat like to what we define mathematics. It is about numbers and all arithmetic operations. Some says it is a tool or collection of skill that help us answer questions of how many and how much. Okay, this definition is partially true, but also not. Maybe you have already encountered a lot of mathematics in your educational journey, and you would say that the questions you have answered in mathematics is not just about how many and how much. There are various concept problems, there are various things about mathematics that does not only answer how many and how much. Number 3, it is a science of logical reasoning, drawing conclusions from assumed premises or strategic reasoning. Okay? This definition, nagaka-apply tani siya sa mga ibantang mga topics sa mathematics and especially sa mga topics in geometry, analytic geometry, nga makita tabla permi nga nagadraw kita conclusions like therefore I conclude and may mga supporting statements dayon. That is, you draw logical reasoning kung anong natabo sa sinang specific nga mathematical problem, then you conclude kung ano ang natabo. Okay, that is part of mathematics, hambal sa iban. I also try to ask my students, to ask some students, I try to ask kung anong ilang mga view about mathematics, paano nila ginlantaw ang mathematics sa ilang kaugalingon. One says, mathematics has problems that have one and only one right answer. Maybe at some point this is true. Kaya ang mathematics kuno is may aral lagi siya isang specific answer. Actually, dapat ang mathematics should be precise, should be exact good at sa sinang answer. But mathematics teachers may be considerate nga gina-consider ita lang bisan minimal nga difference or agad medyo hindi na minimal nga difference, basta same lang, medyo same ang concept, we consider answers. But mathematics should have one and only one right answer. Maybe somewhat true for some problems, but not for other problems. Number 2, mathematics is facts and rules with one way to get the right answer. Okay? May rule siya kuno, then may way to get the right answer. You find the rule, you get the answer. Okay? Maybe same ka mo ni idea. Kung nabalaan mo lang rule, nabalaan mo ang formula, maka-answer ka na niya. Diba? Amo na ang konsepta sang mathematics. And hambal yan pagid, usually kuno the rule to use is the one your teacher just taught you. Do you agree with this? Ako, mahambal ko nga, it should not always be. You can explore, try to research, especially subunga sa amo tani nga type of learning. Mas damo ka mo ma-explore, mas damo ka mo mabalaan, mas damo ka mo makita nga ways kung paano mag-learn. So, try to find some ways para ma-understand ang lesson, and then you can incorporate, you could try to explore sa internet kag makakita ka masang some ways to answer the problem, to understand the lessons, and that is encouraged gid katama. Number 3, you don't need to understand the why rules. If you don't solve a problem in 5 minutes, then you'll never solve it. Give up. I don't know if this applies to you, but it's his own definition, and I try to include it here because maybe some would agree with this, but I know some would not. Number 5, only geniuses discover or create mathematics. So if you forget something, you'll never be able to figure it out on your own. Okay? Amo na iya definition sa mathematics. Wala ako kabalo kung same ka mo ni sang pag-insindi or same aray mo ni sa inyong perspective, but that's how he understands mathematics. One student sa senior high school naghambal, mathematics problems have little to do with the real world. Amo ginahambal sa iban. Anong ko na ang calculus kung mag-engineer na ko? Anong ko na ang bulibudlay nga subject kung mag-engineer na ko? How magamit ko na? In real world, do what makes sense. In mathematics, follow the rules. Kaya amo nang ilang understanding, probably some or most of the students amo nang understanding sa mathematics. Isa na sa mga budlay nga subject sa college, pero wala na siya apply sa real world. Plus man na Japan sa real world. That's how you view mathematics. And wala ko kabalo kung mag-agree ka, but I know in your mind there's a part nga naghambal sa mga amo na mga concept. And lastly, very simple but I included here, isa ka estudyante naghambal, mathematics is purely arithmetic. Now, let's have the views of some famous persons about mathematics. To understand the meaning of mathematics clearly, let us have a view in some definitions given by great scholars and mathematicians. According to Locke, mathematics is a way to settle on the minds the habit of reasoning. I'm so sorry for Bertrand Russell. The definition is copied and I haven't seen, wala ako nakita nga wala siya kayo na-erase. For Bertrand Russell, ang iya definition may be defined as a subject in which we never know that we were talking about nor what we saying is true. Ambal niya, basta gasuma ka da, basta na ginahimo mo na, bala da wala mo na insindihan, but you are doing this. Also, this applies to your daily lives activities. Ginahimo mo na nagali o gina-apply mo na ang mathematics pero wala ka kabalo nga that is a part of the mathematics. According to Berzam and Peirce, mathematics is a science which draws necessary conclusions. Okay? Conclusion man Japon, para sa ginhamba ko therefore I conclude. 'Di ba? For example, subong kakakita mo may mga specific cases na sa mga areas dali sa Negros, then ma-conclude ka na din niya matyagang ko damo na ni sang amuni damo na ni cases may mga local transmission na tanadi guro. That is drawing conclusion out of your observation, and that is part of mathematics. According to Marshall H. Stone, mathematics is the study of an abstract system built of abstract elements. These elements not described in concrete form. According to some mathematicians, mathematics may be defined as a science of number and space. Okay? Diri gini permeables down ang tanan nga definition, numbers gid ang mathematics hambal nila. Okay, let's generalize the definition. Here it is. Mathematics is the science of quantity and space. Quantity and space, it talks about numbers. Also, mathematics talks about numbers. Ano mga numbers? You need to calculate them. It is the science of calculation. Mathematics is also the method of progress of the various subjects. Kinanglanon mo ang mathematics para magamit mo siya sa ibang subjects. Mathematics is an abstract form of science. Mathematics is a systematized, organized, and exact branch of science. Diba? Hamba ako kagina may mga exact answers. And then, dapat follow mo ang rules should be systematized. Kaya kung hindi, wala. Hindi mo mag-get ang answer. Hindi mo makuha ang answer. Mathematics is an important means of generalization. Mathematics is the means of drawing conclusion and judgment. And lastly, nasulit-sulit kay Japon, this is about logical reasoning. Okay, here are the nature of mathematics. This is related to the definition of mathematics, but here I present the nature of mathematics. Mathematics has its own language. It means that it has mathematical concepts, own terms, symbols, formulae, and principles. We are going to discuss mathematical languages in the next topic, and maybe you will understand this fully in the next topic. The knowledge of mathematics remain the same in the whole universe, everywhere and every time. It is not changeable. Okay? Simple lang ang explanation sini. Kung dari sa Pilipinas, you add 50 plus 50, it is equal to 100. Anywhere in the world, bisan magadto ka po sa diin nga area, 50 plus 50, same man na siya po ng answer. But bisan lain to yung language, lain ang ila pagtawag, but same man na siya po ng process. Addition will be addition, multiplication will be multiplication, subtraction will be subtraction. Sa same man siya po ng language when we talk about mathematics. Third, mathematics is an exact science. Hindi tayo nipagpadaluman pa, that's how it is. Exact science. Number 4, it is a science of logical reasoning. It involves inductive and deductive reasoning and can generalize any proposition universally. Okay? Logical reasoning, medyo hindi tayo dimensiondihan what is inductive and what is deductive reasoning. Okay? This topic will be introduced maybe at the 3rd week or the 4th week sa atong discussion. We have to explore about this type of reasoning used for problem solving, and let's see kung anong matabo or paano nyo na-understand ang inang types of process in solving problems. Number 5, mathematical knowledge is developed by sense organs. Therefore, it is exact and reliable. Okay, ang ginahambal niya man lang exact man siya po ng mathematics, then pwede ka siya makarely sa mathematics. That is the reason kung nga ginagamit siyang mathematics in the real world in predicting something, predicting sa mga natural phenomena, kay pwede ka siya makarely sa mathematics. Next, mathematical knowledge is developed by sense organs. Number 6. It is related to each aspect of human life. It is numerical and calculation part of human life and knowledge. Mathematical helps in self-evaluation. Okay, ang gusto nyo lang ihambal, you use mathematics in your everyday life. Ginagamit mo na siya, bisan wala mo lang na-notice, pero ginagamit mo ni ang mathematics. Number 7. Mathematics involves the conversion of abstract concepts into concrete forms. Its knowledge is applied in the study of science and its different branches. Okay? Ang mathematics, ginastudihan ta, pero gina-apply ta sa iban nga branches of sciences. Ginagamit mo na ang mathematics para makasuma ka physics problems. Ginagamit mo ang mathematics para maka-answer ka sa chemistry. Kung hindi nami ang mga foundation sa mathematics, maybe you will struggle sa iban mga sciences ng mga subjects. Okay? That is the important nature of mathematics. Maybe we have a lot of mathematics na subject, and let's now ibaluon ta kung sa diin nagalin ano ang ginhalinan sa word ng mathematics. The word mathematics comes from the Greek word mathema, which is the ancient Greek language, means what one learns, what one gets to know, hence also study and science in the modern. Kaya naghalin siya sa word nga mathema, nga ang buot silingon, what one learns and what one gets to know. Okay? Sa modern naman nga origin, the word mathema is derived from mathano, nga halin sa modern Greek equivalent ng mathaino. Ang ibig nila di nga i ipa ano nga meaning ang siningon sinasang mathema is to learn. Okay? Now, let us have this example or this concept. Imagine that you've received a pair of baby rabbits, one male and one female. They are very special rabbits because they never die, and the female one gives birth to the new pair of rabbits exactly once every month. Always another pair of male and female. Okay, nag-start siya nga may ara ka baby rabbit sa first nga month. Pagka next nga month, ang mga baby rabbit, nagdako na siya. Then pagka next naman liwat nga month, pagka next month, may ara ka na ang mga parent nga rabbit, nagbata na siya. May ara ka na duwa ka pairs ang rabbit. Then, pagka next month, nagbata liwat ang mga parent rabbit, and then nagdako na yung baby rabbit. For the next month, nagbata liwat, nagdako, then ang mga baby rabbit, nagbata naman siya. Okay? This process continues and continues hasta nga nagdamo ng mga rabbits. In the following month, you would have 13 pair of rabbits. The 8 ones from the previous month, plus 5 new sets of rabbits. So now, can you detect the pattern in this sequence? Okay, may ara ka 13 sa sininga month. Okay, pila ang number of rabbits in the next month? Okay, hapus lang na siya i-determine. Kinanglan mo lang 13 plus 8, you have 21. Okay, paano natabo? The number of rabbits in the particular month is the sum of two previous numbers. In the other words, you have to add the previous two terms in the sequence to get the one. Ang iyang recursive formula nga ginagamit, x sub n equals to x sub n minus 1 plus x times n minus 2. Ang formula medyo kalingin pa siya lang tawon. Pero, ang iya lang dibot silingon, if you want to find the value of number of rabbits in a particular month, kinanglan mo lang i-add ang duwa ka previous term. Okay, amo lang na siya ang iya nga buot silingon. So now, can you calculate the number of rabbits after the few more months? Okay, let's start with 1. Capital lang liwat ang 1. Then, add na. 1 plus 1 equals 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Let's add. You will have 5. Add. You will have 8. 5 plus 8, you will have 13. In the next month, you will have 8 plus 13. Mayroon ka 21. Then, for the next month, you will have 13 plus 21. Mayroon ka 34. And so on, and so on. If you continue to calculate, after 12 months, mayroon ka na 144 pairs of rabbits. This sequence of numbers is called the Fibonacci Sequence. It is named from the Italian mathematician Leonardo Fibonacci. Medyo na tanan ni siya, na kita tanan ni or na balaan tanan ni nga concept ang Fibonacci Sequence sa aton nga high school, especially nga sa klase ta sa pre-calculus, ari ni siya mga sequences. Of course, the Fibonacci numbers are not how rabbits actually populate in the real life. Rabbits don't have exactly one male and one female offspring every single month, and we haven't accounted for rabbits dying eventually. Okay, kung tanawon ta, I have discovered nga ang Fibonacci numbers ga-appear man sa mga honeybees, sa populations ng honeybees. In every bee colony, there is a single queen that lays many eggs. If an egg is fertilized by the male bee, it hatches into a female bee. If it is not fertilized, it hatches into a male bee called a drone. I have presented this one kay medyo interesting siya nga concept nga may amo manigali ang kakatabo sa may amo ginigali ang kakatabo in real life. So if you are curious about this, you could try some research and understand or watch video about this sa YouTube. But it turns out that there are many other places in nature where Fibonacci numbers do appear. For example, the spiral in plants. Sa mga plants ng mga spirals nga kita ta that is Fibonacci numbers. Then subong mahambal kung paano na-relate ang spiral sa Fibonacci numbers. Okay? Maybe nagsulod sa pinsar niyo ang muna question. So area ang explanation. Let's have a look at the property of Fibonacci numbers. Well, there's a mathematical explanation for the pattern we see above. Suppose we have the squares of sides representing Fibonacci numbers. Kay may ara ka Fibonacci numbers. Kita ta kagina start with 1 sa center plus may mo 1 sa next month may mo 2 may mo 3 may mo 5 may mo 8. And kinahanglan mo ni sila assemble pareho sa nakita nyo sa dalom nga part. Then makita nyo nga sa right side nga portion, kung gin-join mo lang ilang mga sides ng sinangat rectangle, you will form a outward spiral nga pattern. Okay, in this way, you are applying Fibonacci numbers para sa mga spiral nga patterns ng plants. You might have noticed that the rectangles get larger. They seem to start spiraling outwards. We can even visualize this by drawing a perfect spiral that connects the corners of the squares. Okay, amo na no sa nambal ako kagina. At every step, the squares forms a larger rectangle. Its width and height are always two consecutive Fibonacci numbers. Okay? Kung na-inspect mo ha, ang iyan nga width kag ang iyang height sa imong rectangles always part na siya sa imong Fibonacci numbers. Sundan na consecutive nga numbers sa imong Fibonacci sequence. The aspect ratio of the rectangle is the ratio of its width and its height. Okay? Ratio of width and height. Notice that as we add more and more squares, the aspect ratio seems to get closer and closer to a specific number around 1.6. Okay? Kung i-divide ta ang imong height sa iyang width, sa sininga mga rectangles, nakita nyo nga ka-approach siya sa almost 1.6. This number is called the golden ratio. The golden ratio with the value 1.61 blah blah blah. It can be approximated by dividing in two consecutive Fibonacci numbers. The golden ratio is often seen particularly aesthetically pleasing in art and architecture. Ginagamit ni siya sa mga architecture kay nami siya kuno sa mata. It appears in spirals of many plants and is usually represented by the Greek letter phi. Okay? Amo lang na magkuha ka sang value sang golden ratio. Ang approximation is to divide sang two consecutive number sa Fibonacci sequence. Pero mas prefer nga sa mas dagko nga number kay para approaching siya approximately equal gid sa values. Its exact value is represented by 1 plus square root of 5 over 2. I will not show the derivation kung di inigin kwa. But, hope kabay pa nga you can do your research na lang kung gusto nyo magpalibog pa or gusto nyo mag-explore. But, let's make this at ease nga nabalaan nyo ang exact value niya which is 1 plus square root of 5 over 2. Many people believe that the golden ratio is particularly aesthetically pleasing. That's why it is often used by artists and architects. Like sa sininga mga examples. First one, we have the Parthenon in Athens. Kita tanan ni siya nabalaan tanan ni isa ni siya sa mga famous nga mga buildings sa Athens. Si Phidias ang gamit niya na ang golden ratio para sa sininga architecture. Also, we have the Sacrament of the Last Supper by Salvador Dali. Yung gamit niya man ang golden ratio sa pagpaint ng sininga painting. Fibonacci spirals is also present sa mga plants. Ang golden ratio ginagamit ni sa mga plants naturally. Ginagamit nila. For example, sa mga sunflowers, sa mga pine cones, these plants grow outwards from their center, a part of the plant where ginatawag na siyang meristem. As new seeds or leaves or petals are added, they push the existing the existing ones further outwards. Okay? Nagkakatabo sila dira, gina-push niya sa pahigad, and they are forming spiral nga pattern. It is important for flowers to pick a suitable angle. The leaves or seeds have to be approximately equally spaced so that they get the largest amount of sunlight and nutrients. Ang mula di ang concept nga kinanglanon ta sang kinanglanon nga maging equal ang spacing nila sa mga seeds, sang petals, sang leaves kay parang enough kag equal ang gakaget nila nga sunlight kag nutrients. Okay, now, we have to explore the mathematical patterns in nature nga makikita ninyo. Maybe, as you go outside sa inyo balay, makita nyo sa nature, you will be amazed kasi, picturean ko na bala. Because you are amazed, hindi lang sang nature mismo, kundi ka-amaze ka sa mga patterns nga nakita mo. Bis, gusto mo ganit picturean ang langit because may nakita ka nga mga nami nga patterns kinakita mo sa langit. That is, we are fascinated, we are amazed sa mga patterns na nakita sa nature. Pero hindi ta aware kung anong tawag sina ang mga patterns. Also, we are fascinated sa mga subong sa mga succulents kay maybe hindi tungod nga plant lover ka, but because you are fascinated by the patterns nga kakaubra sa mga dahon. Same man sa mga caladium nga mga tanom, because we are fascinated sa mga hindi tungod trendy siya, hindi tungod kundi nanamian ka man sa mga patterns na nagkakita mo sa mga dahon nila. Let's start with mathematical patterns. Okay, have you ever stopped to look around and notice all the amazing shapes and patterns we see in the world around us? Okay, nakita niyo sa mga picture, though kadamo sa mga patterns nga kita ta sa palibot. Let's start with symmetry. Symmetry kakagamit niya sa drawing, symmetry. Tapos lang i-identify ang symmetry. It means that one shape becomes exactly like the other when you have it in the same way. Kaya ang symmetry, kung ano ang ara sa piyak na side, same man na Japon sa piyak na side. That is symmetry. Bisan i-flip mo na siya, same man na Japon ang makita mo sa piyak na side. Symmetry. Medyo familiar na kamo ni kay medyo nagamit. Tani kag medyo common lang ang word. Next one, spiral. Ari pag this needs no definition na kung ano ang spiral. Kabalo kuya, aware na kamo kung ano mga spiral. 'Di ba? Spiral. Mga spring spiral na, 'di ba, no? Spiral. Then, nakita ta sa example, amo niya mga sari-sari nga examples ng spiral sa nature. Fractals. Fractal is a never-ending pattern that repeats itself at a different scales. A fractal continually reproduces copies of itself in various sizes and or directions. Fractals are extremely complex, sometimes infinitely complex. Nakita niyo sa example, no? Magkabaka fractals, never-ending pattern that repeats itself at the different scales. Nakita niyo sa fern nga example, ikatatlong nga picture, nakita niyo nga same ng Japon ang patterns ng dahon all throughout. So, nag-repeat, that is fractals. Same man sa mga dahon. Nakita mo sa mga sanga-sanga o sa mga dahon, balang gasigi-sigi, same lang ang pattern yung kaka-form nila, that is fractals. Same man sa mga lightnings, nakikita nyo, ang mga flashes sa langit, dugdamo siya flashes sa langit, that is fractals. Another one, tessellations. Ang tessellations is parehas lang sila definition, do medyo parehas related siya sa fractals, pero ang tessellation lang niya is a repeating pattern of polygons. Ang fractals siya kagina medyo siya, abstract siya nga patterns, wala mo nabalaan kung ano siya nga form. Ang tessellations naman niya is a polygon, nga ginasulit-sulit niya. For example, sa unang example, mayroon ka daw circles na siya or oblong shape, then nagsulit-sulit siya, that is tessellation. For sa giraffe nga part, may ara ka polygon nga nagsulit-sulit man siya. Same man sa scale kag sa honeybees nga pattern. Kay kinanglan ta ni studyhan ang patterns because this helps us predict the behavior of nature kang phenomena in the world. Kay ginagamit ni ang mathematical tools para maka-predict ta sa mga sari-sari ng mga phenomenon sa nature. Mathematics can be used to explain how something recurs in nature. Mathematics is used to explain why the sun set, where it went, and why it returned because it has easier way to count these events in numbers than to put them into words. Similarly, formulas became a part of using numbers to show how things in nature happen together or oppose one another. So, ang mathematics ginagamit siya to predict sa mga natural phenomenon kay mga gakatabo sa nature like the following. Ginagamit siya para sa mga cloud seeding ng mga applications, mga modern application na ning present ko, ginagamitan siya mathematics to calculate kung ang volume nga enough lang para sa sinang lugar at the same time kag ang kung saan ang pinakanaming a day para mag-perform sa cloud seeding. Also, ginagamit man ang mathematics to predict the weather. Weather prediction is done using mathematics. Okay, we are done with the topics about mathematics, introduction to our world. We have a lot of patterns we see in the world. And for your activity, just look at your modules and try to explore. This is in clarification also for your modules. You have to answer and put your solution in your solution notebook and try to submit it at the end of the term, unless I am specifying it in every week that you have to submit it in Schoology. But for now, I am saying if you have the solution for some problems or answers for the problems, you can put it in your solution notebook and submit it to me to